Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Going to do a bit of a run through today on my Contender Rare setup for Sorare 26. So the idea is to get a couple of videos out. We'll focus on Contender today. I will do a Challenger one as well. Initially I was very much Contenders only manager until they changed things up in the summertime. Moved Scotland, and was Austria moved as well, possibly? Scotland anyway moved to Challenger, which of course seen me follow suit with my Celtic guys. But I have kind of an equal setup now, 4 rare teams in each division. So we'll do Contender today, just to give you an idea of players I'm using. And I'm basically done buying cards now for the season. I'll pick up a couple of bits and pieces along the way, but the gallery is primed and ready, hopefully for more success over between now and May. So Contender, I'm going to do it by position, starting with forwards because it's a lot more exciting than starting with goalkeepers. People will probably switch off when we get to the goalkeeper section. So who is in the Contender setup for forwards? As you can see there, the first guy, the Sorare goat himself, Cecilia. I've got a 6% Cecilia. I only got him 10 days ago because I basically sold my own Cecilia too early. I was trying to get out of some J-League, K-League cards. I thought, season's nearly over. I will get rid of Cecilia. And lo and behold, look at his scores over the last couple of weeks. 99 and 100 in the last 2 game weeks. I did bring him in, captained him for his 99, but just short of streak 3. Because of my Dusseldorf defensive stack let me down. But good to have Cecilia back. They've got a few more games left. I think it's maybe 5 league games and possibly playoffs as well. So I'll just write them out for the rest of the season. Hopefully they can avoid relegation and we might get another season out of Cecilia next year. Yuki Soma. I had a Yuki Soma, most of the J-League season. Again, sold them for about 50 quid. Bought one back recently, just maybe to get some value towards the end of the season. £26, but I might end up just letting him go again. But he's been a very consistent scorer this year. Maybe not so much last couple of weeks, but again, going for the league title as many teams are in the J-League, so we might end up using him a wee bit. I mean, Butra here, Bastia are struggling in League 2. I think they're bottom of the table. Butra is a good player on his day, can do well for AA. As you can see there was a 100 score in game week 12, but playing in a struggling team at the moment, so he doesn't usually go into my top 1 or 2 lineups. Baris Atik, Magdeburg have been very disappointing this year. They were bottom of the table last time I checked in the Bundesliga 2, but they've changed their manager, and hopefully that changes their fortunes. Atik nowhere near the levels as he has been in previous seasons, although a 65 without a decisive at the weekend is encouraging. So he won't be going anywhere, and hopefully Magdeburg improve. Scroll down a little bit further here. We've got a couple of smashers. Fabian Rees classic cards. Got him 2 months ago. Didn't want to pay the money for an in-season. They were struggling a wee bit this year as well, Hertha Berlin, but he's come back with a couple of good scores. 3 good scores in the last 5, and probably going to end up giving him the captain's armband for game week 21. So hopefully more of that to come from Fabian Rees. Davidashvili, I've spent a few bob on Saint Etienne guys. I've got the goalkeeper, I've got the defender. Went out and got Davidashvili recently. Hasn't been so good. Definitely didn't have him, I don't think, for that brace in game week 15. No, I think I did have him for that. But as you can see, he hasn't done much else. Some of those were international games against difficult opponents. Looks like Spain and Turkey. They lost at the weekend, I'm pretty sure 3-2. I spent £70 on him. I've got him listed for 85. One of those where if he sells, great, take the profit. Take the tenner profit and run. If not, we'll probably use him at the weekend. Also went and got some Reims players. So pretty sure Saint Etienne and Reims both got relegated last year and should be strong performers this year. Antoine Lutze, was familiar with him last year. I think it was Amiens he was at. Picked up as one of, but again, open to selling that one. Nakamura, I owned him when he was at Lask in Austria. I was quite happy to see him pop up in the contenders region again this year. Scored in his last 2 games. Got a 100 in game week 12. managed to get a special edition as well out of the pack opening, or the player opening. So I'm hoping Nakamura, spent a fair few bob on him there, 73 quid, but hopefully going to be one of the key cogs in this contender setup this year. I've got Teddy Tuma as well, his teammate, as a midfielder. And finishing it out, picked up Michele Sego from Hajduk Split recently, scored twice at the weekend for an 81. I think he was in a low priority lineup, but hopefully usable next couple of weeks. Keenan Karaman, Schalke have been really good for me last couple of weeks. He got an assist at the weekend and will be going nowhere. Going to roll out a Schalke stack again this weekend and probably fire in Fabian Rees to go with them as the captain. And my boy Kyogo, I've had him for 2 years. He's level 20. He's now at Birmingham. He's not very usable, but I can't even bring myself to put him in a vault because he's my favourite player. I think he was my most expensive ever Sorare card. So he's just there for nostalgic reasons as much as anything else. Let's jump to the midfielders. If I can find where I changed to midfielders. Where's position? Here we go. So top of the list, some smashers. Marvin Vanacek, I've had him for a year. 9% bonus on him, very often a captaincy card. Canales likewise, season coming to an end soon in Mexico, but he's been really good throughout the campaign and will hopefully be usable again in the new year when the season comes back. Oli Selne has been quite disappointing at Rosenborg. He's missed a lot of games recently, been on the bench for a lot of games. Was banking on him doing well at the weekends, but only managed a 41. If I scroll back here a little bit, the scores were a lot better towards the end of last season and towards the start of this one. And not much utility left from him at Rosenborg either. But again, didn't spend a huge amount there. There's Teddy Tuma. You'll remember I won the Game Week 1. I won a Challenger Division 1 with some Austrian players, and that money was spent on players like Teddy Tuma. Wouldn't usually spend that much on a player, but himself, Nakamura, Davidashvili, I was able to treat myself to some really good players who score really well, and hopefully Teddy Tuma will be a big player in League 2 this year, and he's already been doing quite well. So him and Nakamura is a nice little attacking double up there. Cuisance, frustratingly injured at the weekend. That came out of nowhere. I had him captained in one of my teams along with Fabian Rees. Fabian Rees did well, but the lineup was dead once Cuisance missed out. I think he might be out till November, hopefully early November, because he has been smashing, 3 of the last 4 fixtures. We'll just hold on to him. Ron Schallenberg is part of my Schalke stack. He's been a pretty steady Eddie with some good AA scores and a couple of decisive thrown in as well. Good value there at £22. Gedson Fernandez, I'll probably look to sell him soon. In Russia, they've got about, they take about 3 months off in Russia for the winter. It's by far the longest break. So any Russian players, Russian league players, I'd be looking to sell as well. Just brought in Inagaki as well recently, similar to Yuki Soma. I think I've got Sho Sasaki, just a couple of games left, not too expensive. Players that can score well and hopefully get me over the line for some streaks and hopefully some podiums, of course. A couple of more midfielders down here. Mahmoud Jabber comes in to go with my Saint Etienne stack. I've got Nade, I've got the goalkeeper, I've got Davidashvili. Jabber was injured recently, so I picked him up, and he can do well for AA. You can see there 71, 66, 70. If he gets a decisive, you're looking at 90s, so hopefully he can do well. Also, Pushkas, probably not Pushkas, more like Pukstas. I've always liked the Split players. Went to Split to a music festival a couple of years ago, so always a bit of a soft spot. The music festival was Ultra Europe, and it was in the Hajduk Split Stadium. So I've got a soft spot for those guys. I've got Sego, and I've got this guy Pushkas as well. And he does do well. If he gets a decisive, he's doing well. Game Week 3 there, he got 78 from AA alone. Young player, American, 20 years old. Just quite a useful player for maybe Team 3 or Team 4. Tom Ducroc is a classic from Bastia, but again, they're struggling. Stojkovic, disaster. Very talented player, but is not getting the minutes at all. As you can see there, hasn't scored over 53 for a long time. If I go back towards last season, he's hitting 100s, 95s and 100s. So we really need him to get back into the team at Zagreb, but it's not looking likely at the moment. And one more smasher towards the bottom, Paradea, one of my favourite players. Picked him up about 3 weeks ago again, level 7. Can score well there, as you can see. Let's have a look at defenders. This is sorted by highest average score. Sho Sasaki, I've got a classic Sho, had one for about 2 years, scoring well in recent times, so picked one up again just for the end of the season for 20 quid. Vukotic, very good scorer in the Bundesliga too. If you're looking for a defender to pick up, he might be one to look at. 91, 90, 81. And even there with AA can put in a 69. Scary looking guy. Nade on the market, but on the market for $74, £74. I only paid 20 quid for him towards the start of the season. £21 2 months ago. He's been scoring really well. I was familiar with him from the last couple of seasons playing Sorare. Celebrated my 3rd anniversary on Sorare yesterday, so happy anniversary to me. Went for a romantic date with Sorare last night. Not really, just loads of DNPs over the weekend and no rewards in this love-hate relationship. Nadi, if someone pays £74, I'll sell him. If not, I will continue to use him along with the goalkeeper. Sosa's another one who scores well. Picked him up, again, just for the end of the season, but lots of rotation at Racing at the moment. What did I pay? Paid £20, listed him for £20. Yeah, maybe shouldn't have bought him with lots of rotation for other competitions there. Oberdorf came in recently with his teammate goalkeeper Kastenmeier, and they let me down at the weekends. They were in a team with Teddy Tuma, Nakamura, and Cecilia Captain, and we missed out on the streak by 4 points. It looks like that would have been $100 for the streak, so thank you very much, Oberdorf, for nothing. But again, long term, he'll be in my teams quite often. Piovi looking to sell. Karacic is injured at the moment. It's split. Kuricai, part of the Schalke stack. Pick up the one of. Owned him a couple of years ago when he was at Braunschweig. Good to see him back and scoring well in recent weeks. I've got Karius as well for the defensive stack there. Matheson, another Magdeburg player, hopefully going to improve under new management. Tomiak is a penalty-taking centre-back at Hanover. Can score well, but probably needs a decisive to do so. Although there is a 74 in there, 57 with AA. A nice special edition card there as well. The only reason I picked up David Herald was to boost my collection score on Vanacek. But he can be quite useful. Usually just chuck him into an all-star team or an arena team. Haber's been injured for ages. Again, can be a good scorer when he's fit, hopefully at Magdeburg. Dennis Apaya, again, brought him in just to boost the collection score on the Saint Etienne guys, but he can score well himself when he is fit, which is not very often. So again, just a collection piece there recently. And again, I've got Oli Selnez. I've got a couple of collection pieces here. Looking to sell off the Rosenborg guys now as the season comes to a close. And finally, Matthias Terrain. Had him a couple of years ago playing for a different team. He's on loan now, I think. But again, not doing very well. So just looking to move away. I've only got 6 goalkeepers. Just about enough at the moment. I might look to add another one. Maybe a cheaper one. Karius has been doing really well. Muslera is always decent, but he's a classic card. Kastenmeier came in along with Oberdorf. Larsenauer goes with my Saint Etienne stack. Again, he's on the market. Might sell him, might not. Again, take a small loss there, but I've had him for about 2 months. Ryman, again, has been a bit of a disaster because Magdeburg have been a disaster, but he did put in 86 in the first game under a new manager, so hopefully more of that to come. Again, didn't break the bank on him at £40 for a goalkeeper. And then I've just got the backup there, backup Saint Etienne goalkeeper as well. So there you have it, an insight into my rare contender setup. I'll just very quickly show you the limited contender setup. Let me go back here. My cards, go to limited, sort by contender, and we go by highest average score. Just to give you a rough idea, you'll see a lot of the same players here. That is Challenger. Let me go to Contender. there we go. So, as you can see, Davidashvili's in there as a classic. Scott McKenna, who's been scoring well, more so towards the start of the season, but he did get a good score at the weekend. I think he might have got a goal. Oli Selnez, Stone Mambo, the best name in the game. Hugonay, so we've got quite a few Magdeburg guys in limited here as well. Attic, Madison, Tuma. A lot of crossover between rare and limited. Got a few more Dusseldorf guys here. Jesse Benet. Ivasic is the split goalkeeper. There is Oberdorf, Kastemeyer again. Appelkamp, Muslija. Might look to pick up Muslija at rare actually, given that his scores have dipped recently. I think he can improve. Lavage is injured at the moment. So yeah, a lot of crossover, and that's the same for Challenger as well. So there you have it. Quick snapshot of my contender setup for Sorare 26. Next video will be a look at the Challenger guys. Celtic have been letting me down big time. Celtic cards causing relegations rather than podiums. All is not well in the green side of Glasgow. Hope you enjoyed the video, folks. Hit subscribe for future. Hit the like button as well. And leave a comment. Any players I should add to my contender setup, please let me know in the comments. And any questions you have about contender or challenger, I will always answer those in the chat section as well. Have a good midweek, folks. Enjoy the Champions League, and I'll talk to you all again very soon.